Hey everybody, what's happening? Matt Ham here, co-founder of Uprint, Faith and Personal Development, and I am with longtime friend and one of our corporate partners, Chris Hutchens with Guaranteed Rate Mortgage. Chris, what's up, man?
Everything's good. Glad to be here. I appreciate your friendship and our long-time connection and everything you do for me to partner with you and you to partner with me.
Yeah, it's a good mutual benefit. That's what we love about our partnerships. And we're not experts in your field. You are, and we're experts in our field. And so that's how it works,
I'm
man.
definitely not an expert in your field.
But I tell you what, man. You are our key mortgage partner. You have been from the very beginning, and so we want to kind of bring to our community just kind of an update on the mortgage environment right now. I know it has been haywire, hectic. Real estate's crazy. So from your perspective, man, what's the latest and the greatest in the mortgage world?
Well, COVID's been a lot of things to a lot of people, and those of us in real estate and mortgage, it's kind of been a positive, and it's not something we walk around bragging about or telling everybody how great it is to some extent, but it has been great. There's been some positives with like my girls home from college and stuff like that. And so, I can't work all the time, but I've spent a lot of the last 18 months working a lot. So the real estate market, and it's no secret to anybody, is absolutely wide open.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be letting up any. And COVID just pushed it forward. People are coming to Wilmington for quality of life and taxes and weather and all those things we all know. And COVID just pushed it faster. And so, it's been relentless since last March, and relentless for the most part in a good way. I feel like I'm on call and busy 7 days a week,
right.
But I love what I do, and that probably isn't stopping. And so Wilmington just happens to be a really good place to do it.
Well, so you've been in the mortgage business in Wilmington for how long now?
Since '97.
Since '97. Okay, so you've seen everything, and you've seen it change dramatically.
Yeah.
So for this marketplace specifically, now guaranteed rate's not limited to Wilmington, but specifically for the Wilmington area, because most of our community is local.
Sure.
What are you seeing are the greatest challenges that folks are facing today?
So there's some stats out there that say the average realtor's over 50, the average mortgage lender's over 50, the average appraiser's over 50. Like, not that many people go to college to be one of those things.
Okay.
Well, we have a huge shortage of youth in the business. We have a huge shortage of appraisers.
Okay.
The biggest challenge I've seen, especially this year, some of last year, is getting an appraisal done. I mean, used to, I had control, every lender had control over who you ordered it from, and you could, just say, hey man, I kind of need this as a rush. You can't do that anymore, but it's typically 2 or 3 weeks to get an appraisal. Well, because there is so much almost fight over a contract, every realtor wants to write the shortest contract possible, the shortest due diligence period possible, and sometimes those are faster than we can even get an appraiser out there. And so the challenge is just the world is moving so fast, and everything can't be done that fast. People are buying houses sight unseen. Well, that's happened in history, but because the market's so good that people are out of their comfort zone, and sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not okay. I mean, it's always a little stressful. You're selling a house, you're buying a house, you're doing all these things, and then you throw in there, oh, by the way, the seller wants $10,000 due diligence that you're never going to see again, and we need to close in 3 weeks, and the lender needs to perform.
Yeah.
We always got to perform,
So how are you navigating those relationships with, your current clients and folks that you're working with? Like what is something that you kind of advise a consumer on, or what's something that you feel like you guys are doing well through this environment?
Let me answer that part first. So I think what I do, my team does well, is we've just really, really scaled well. We have the number one male, the number one female in my industry at my company. They do coaching calls left and right. And the main thing I've heard from my company is you get to a certain level and you've just got to scale and you just got to get bigger. And I've got the biggest team I've ever had. And it doesn't mean that I'm not intimately involved. I just have more help. Yeah. I just have more people that can do all the things that I just can't get around to, that type thing. So, I guess your first part of the question, what are we doing to, educate or whatever? I mean, I have a lot of honest, direct conversations. If someone said, how fast can I do something? I'm very clear to say, here's the answer. A lot of it depends on you. Mm-hmm. If I need a W-2, a pay stub, a bank statement, a tax return, this or that, I can't wait 10 days on it. Like, I need it in 2 days.
Sure.
Because we're going to control what we can control and everything we can't control, but we're going to move fast on the things we can control. So really my value is I bring 25 years worth of history, of education, of experience to navigate that process, because the process is fast.
Yeah.
You know, we got to move quick, and we're all working together. And if you're not working together, it's not going to be a good transaction.
So guaranteed rate, you know, you made a major transition in your own career. You know, you had been with another brokerage firm or another organization for years, and you made a big transition over to guaranteed rate. How would you say guaranteed rate, from not your office, but how has guaranteed rate empowered you, helped you? Like, you know, what's kind of a niche for you guys? I mean, what would you say about that?
Yeah, so I would say we have something like 50 of the top 200 in the country in my field that work at guaranteed rate.
Okay.
So for me, going back to those coaching calls, for me, you know, I like to work around superstars. I like to work around successful people, and a lot of them are unselfish. They give back big time, and I think that's what I'm here for. Like, you know, there's to use a baseball analogy, there's A ball and double A, and I'm in the major leagues. I mean, I work for the player. We're the largest privately held mortgage company in the country. We have people on the board at Fannie Mae that work with us. We have, like I said, the top male, top female. We have superstars in almost all 50 states. It's just great to work around a bunch of successful people. We all can learn something, right? Even LeBron James has a coach. Yeah. We all can learn from good coaching.
Yeah. Well, no doubt, and that's part of kind of our culture at UPREN is this. You know, we come alongside folks from a different perspective, kind of a holistic perspective.
Sure.
But no matter how successful you are, where you are, you have to have an advocate in your corner who's going to speak into things that you might not be able to see. And it's like you said, a rising tide floats all boats, and so that's a good thing for you guys. So you mentioned something earlier. We'll close with this. You said there's a lack of young talent. You know, a lot of folks that we work with are, you know, saying, what's my passion? What's my calling? What's my purpose? What do I want to get into? And there are folks who consider, you know, the mortgage business. They're good at sales. They like numbers. They like people.
Sure.
What are key things for somebody out there who may be considering the mortgage business, and what does that kind of onboarding process look like for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. All right, so don't let me forget the onboarding part. So the first part is, like, any loan officer that works for me, I tell them the job is 50% sales, 50% attention to detail. So you can be an awesome salesperson. There's a lot of great salespeople in this world, but if the attention to detail isn't there, and you miss whether it's a number or it's a fact, a guideline, or whatever, you've completely derailed a transaction. Well, what if they did put $10,000 down? And you know, we take that on our shoulders every day. So to me, it is a sales brain is part of it, a numbers brain is part of it, and then attention to detail is huge. You know, we really do have a lot of pressure on us every day, not just to perform and execute, close on time, but like, it's pretty easy to make a human error.
Yeah.
And it's one of those jobs where it's almost like being a surgeon. Like an error is a big error, you know, and we try not to make them. And as far as, you know, there aren't a lot of barriers to entry. You have a national exam test you have to take and all that. Yeah, the tough part is getting in it. You've got to have somebody, I think, preferably mentor you, help you out. Appraisers are the same way. Somebody's got to sign off on a couple hundred reports. You've got to have somebody mentor you along the way, help you, coach you, guide you, that type of thing. And you got to know that it's a very lucrative field, but like, it doesn't happen in the first 3 months or 6 months. And when you were in insurance, I know you can relate to this.
Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight. It took a while to build it and build it and build it. And then at some point it takes care of itself.
Yeah. So for somebody, like I said, if somebody's wanting to get into the business, now for you guys, are y'all actively recruiting, or is it something where you're kind of going to other organizations where folks have already established themselves? I mean, what does that look like?
So I'm a producing manager, so part of my job title really is recruiting. And so when I brought on, I have 25 employees and 8 loan officers that I've recruited or brought on over the years. Actively recruiting, no. You know, it's usually, I subscribe to the friend of a friend type thing.
Gotcha.
If somebody's interested in getting in it and they want to connect with me, like, I'm not difficult to get a hold of, you know, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or a phone appointment, that type thing. I would certainly educate and help them make a decision. First of all, is
Sure.
this something you even want to do? Somebody that's got a family to feed and they're in a salary job, this might not be for you, you know, because this is a commission job. It's not it's not hit the ground running day one. But if you've got the runway, if you've got the time to give to it, it can be fantastic. I love what I do. Anybody that does business with me, they know I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do.
Yeah. Well, man, Chris, thank you so much for just pouring all that out. You know, for those of you who are looking to refinance, or, you know, if you're buying a home or whatnot, we always tell you, give Chris and his team a call. Chris, just go ahead and spit out, you know, kind of email, phone, whatever the best contact information is.
So chris.hutchens@rate.com. Hutchens is with an E. My cell phone number is 910-231-4375. And my office is right outside of Landfall in Wilmington. I am licensed in 13 states, and we do business in all 50. So whatever I can do to help. And, you know, my office right above PT's, never a bad spot for lunch.
That's it, man. Well, Chris, thanks so much for partnering with us, man, and thanks for all the information.
Yep, thank you.